Williamson about to get things underway, and this is it, round 2 of the NZRL Premiership, and it will be the Stingrays who will defend the Mount Smart 1 end of the field today. So important to get away to a good start, Webby, and of course ball control is important, imperative right throughout the game, but particularly so in the early exchanges.
Without a doubt, you can really put your stamp on a game in the first 10 to 15 minutes. So these guys, the start is going to be imperative.
Out to the right-hand side and looking for work early on. Nick Wilson played strong last week. Of course, the Stingrays going down to the Canterbury Bulls. And turned on a biggie today to carve up the Waikato lads. Down in the Garden City, down the short side they come, and Stowers gets the kick away. We remind you of the skinny nature of the in goals here at Mount Smart 2. Waterson has the ball. Waterson to ground, just inside the southern touchline and inside the 20, Falcons end of the ground. Railu Buchanan, tall and rangy second row with plenty to offer.
He was outstanding last week. Just his edge running and his line running was worked really well for Akarana last week.
Up to the 40-metre line, Falcons. He's the man we've all been singling out. He's been in really good form after a wonderful Fox campaign chase. Plays the ball on the halfway line, and Tacoma Sampson says, well, my turn. Runs straight into Purcell. A wall of Stingrays defenders. Of course, with Ruben in tow as well, the Stingrays, after last week's loss, they would have had a look at the tape and realised where they can improve. At the back comes Doyle. Geronimo chased down by the Falcons, who put him to ground just 5 metres out from the try line.
Both teams, great first starting sets. I'd say both coaches would be quite happy with this, and it's setting up for a nice game.
Out to the right-hand side through Stowers, and now setting himself for a run, Teddy Kussi. Ball is lost. These sorts of mistakes could prove costly early on. The Falcons will get the scrum feed in good field position.
Yeah, that's not what the Stingrays will be looking for. They're going to have their work cut out here in this first set of good ball.
Well, they're going to have to really tighten up, won't they, on defence? This will be a challenge for them. Trying to offload the pass there, Corsi. And the Falcons will be pleased to take possession. Right on the 20-metre line here. He's heading towards 3 minutes into the match. Hard to know whether it's going to be a big scoring encounter or a tight tussle. Expect the latter for the opening exchanges. It's a Ledger. Now Chaz Brown, and he's almost through. Brown gets to his feet, and there's a second dig at it.
Go back and play it on the mark.
Radic is all over him. Now Taumata feeds. Straightening up is Tuitama. Confidence high with Matty. Dylan Tavita playing in the hooking role, but in jersey number 8 today for the Falcons. Working it out wide, and Naru Tuangamala to ground 5 metres out from the try line. Plenty of pressure here on the Stingrays in the early exchange. The big man lines himself up. This is Falilua Malio. Easy to spot. The wild here, the little dummy, the spin to the line, and it's as simple as that. Simple for Dylan Tavita. First try scored after 4 minutes.
This was definitely set up by the big boy Falilua Malio, setting up with a quick play of the ball, and great work from the hooker to recognise the quick play of the ball and beat the defence.
You know, well, one thing's for sure, little mistakes can prove costly. And the looking for the offload there, Corsi had the scrum set 20 metres out, and they just couldn't survive that first set defending on their own line. So a good start here for the Falcons, and they're up by 4-0. Francis Ledger with the kicking responsibilities today. Tavita's had a good season too, and Fox play a disappointing start really.
Yeah, they won't be happy with that. Their first set was really good, and just simple errors. They're what opposition teams thrive on, and the boys are going to have to tighten it up, I think.
Well, precisely what Coach Taplin would have wanted to avoid. His team are now on the line and awaiting Francis Ledger's conversion attempt. Francis has played strong right throughout 2018. He's got great skills. Both as a distributor, he's got a wonderful step, ton of pace. Let's see how he goes off the tee. Pretty straightforward. And that's that familiar style that he's made his own. And away with the first one. So 4-0's the scoreline here with that try to Dylan Tavita. One that coaches hate. In fact, certainly the guys in the engine room loathe as well when the hooker can spin and get across.
It is, you know, you really want your ruck to be nice and tight, especially down on your own try line. So hopefully Counties will try and rectify that.
We've had some work earlier today with the Northern Under-18 team and the local competition as well, Webby. So commentary and assistant coaching as well, mate.
Yeah, she's been a busy day, but can't complain. Great day of footy.
We also coached the Ellerslie Under-11s today and helped out a little bit with the top side. So good to see blokes who've had success in the top tier of competition coming back to help those who are just emerging in it. But as mentioned, a number of young fellas, they'll be slightly nervous as we see another run from Bernard, Radic and Purcell. Wrap them up. Tavita for Tuitama. Solid defensive effort from Halalilo.
I can see it locked in. Yep.
Just inside the Stingrays half, and a kick over the top for Geronimo Doyle. He'll field it just out from his own line. Comes into centre field. And content with a settler's Chaz Brown. Wraps him up good and tight on the 10-metre line. So the Stingrays looking for their forwards to come on in and just settle things down. Important they get to the back end of this set. Punch deep into the corner. Up to play it is Emiliano Mikaide. Picked up a bunch of awards. Mikaide at the Otahuhu Rugby League Club Awards last week. Now the Stingrays. That's a purposeful run. Plenty of intent. Dummy half work short side now for Radic. Gets the kick deep. Lua Falealo, one of the most experienced in the Auckland competition, in his early 30s now. Of course, our condolences going to the whānau, his family, losing his nana. He's a wonderful character in the local league competition, Lua Falealo. Now it's James Waterson with some good meterage as well. A wall of Stingray defenders. Get hold of him. 5 metres now inside the Stingrays half. Falelua Malio, strong carry once again. Kama Sampson. Plenty of skills. Good pace too for a back row. This time a quick play the ball, delivered up for Tavita. He'll steer it to the left-hand side. Connor gets the kick and tries to just dribble that into the end goal. Geronimo Doyle has his measure.
He's been really good positionally, Geronimo Doyle, to start this game because the kicking game from Akarana has been pretty decent.
Bradley Buchanan.
12, round the neck.
You heard Leon Williamson, unhappy with the technique that the second row displayed in the defensive effort. And the Stingrays breathed a sigh of relief. It's been pretty hectic the first 8 minutes, down by 4 points. And now Doyle checking into the southern touchline. They'll get the ball from the 40-metre line.
Hold.
Counties need to really try and get themselves in this game here. If they can manage to get themselves into Akarana's half and have a shot at some good ball.
So now the Stingrays set themselves best field position for the start of a set so far today.
Don't be last, 13.
Mafuasa Malutoa plays it, inside ball. 17 on the spin is Jamal Hunt. Jamal's 21, played his footy for Papakura. Played plenty of play as well. Now to the outside, Nick Wilson gets the Stingrays set here, 20 metres out from the try line. It's through Stowers. He decides to launch it high, wide and handsome. The chase is good, but it's bounced out of the Stingrays' hand into Chaz Brown. And referee Williamson says that one of the Falcons players had bumped it forward. Chaz Brown pretty ho-ho with the decision, and he boots the ball downfield.
There's no offside in the goal, right?
Williamson not happy with it at all.
That's how I've seen it, mate. All right.
Says that's the way he read it. To be honest, I thought Chaz Brown, from first glance, might have had reason to be annoyed.
That was a great kick from, I think it was Stowers put that cross kick across, but great chase on it, and you make your own luck with those sort of cross kicks.
Let's put some pressure here on the Falcons. It's the first of the afternoon for them, taken in by Halalilo. Shapes himself, sees a little bit of a hole and darts through it initially. Chase Bernard wraps him up. Dummy half work for Vafusuanga. Out to the right and finds Purcell. Straightening run from Hunt, then wide. Then Nicholas Wilson. Wilson's only 3 metres out from the try line. Make that 5. Quick play the ball. Stowers first receiver. Plenty of options for him. He goes the back door for Radic. Steps away from one. Doyle into it now. Doyle looks for a way through, but the door closes quickly. Brown and Ledger put him to the Mount Smart 2 surface. And now across as they shape for the run through the middle. Malutor. Stowers. Nice ball for Wilson. Double around for Stowers. Still alive to the wing on the right hand side. The dive for the try line. Looking good. And Leon Williamson says that will do. And the youngster starting today in his first representative fixture. Setu 2 gets one for the Stingrays.
That was a great set of good ball there from Counties. They had a few shots and put a few dents in them, and just playing off the back of an offload here on the short side. I think it was just Stowers delivered a great pass to the winger, and he did some work here to get in.
It was a fantastic finish from young Setu. He's played for the Toa Samoa team this year in the under-20s and played for the Mount East Hawks Fox team last year as well. Setu 2. Congratulations to him as the Stingrays lock arms and go into a huddle. Might even emulate the communal breathing routine that the Warriors have championed through 2018.
Well, it worked well for the Warrior boys, so I think Ruben might have brought this one in.
So now, for the most difficult of positions, for the conversion, is Radic, 21 metres out. A brilliant conversion from Drew Radic. He's on top, form 6-4 scoreline.
What a great reply here from Counties. They started really under the pump early on, and they've managed to work themselves back in this game and to give themselves an opportunity to compete today.
Well, it's a really good finish too, and we've seen this athleticism displayed by the wingers. They half dive out of the field of play, but just make sure to keep their arm in, squeeze it down.
Timing.
And Williamson was right there on the mark and made a very quick call to confirm that try. So that'll be a bit of a fillip here for the South Aucklanders. And out quickly to the 30-metre line.
Hold.
They're short of the halfway, so a decent set here off the back. Connor Purcell. He's got a wonderful build for a prop 40. He really plays with big heart, Connor. That's at club level. And a bit of a commentator's mocker once again on the big fellow as he gets up to play the ball.
That's really a coach killer. You really want your boys, you want to be finishing your sets, especially after a try. Yeah, Coach Taplin won't be too happy with that one.
Just keep working like that.
Well,
Nice and quick.
Purcell.
Hear the command, stand up.
It's a build-up.
So far.
And
second
his cousin Ethan actually played last week for the Stingrays.
Seconds in.
Played Connor Purcell, 21, and already has played for the Prems Monaco for 3 seasons. As we see Ledger with the ball now, and hard to contain.
1 now, 11.
Eventually silenced. Right on the halfway line.
Get quicker. 3.
Defeated. The signs will go down the short side. Chaz Brown. A gain of about 10 metres.
Wait.
10 in from the northern touchline, midway, 30, 40. Stingrays, end of the ground. Bernard again. He's not the biggest forward, but he just runs good lines. Senses opportunity. Sampson to Connick, and wide out for Luafalealo, stepping back on the inside, doing a mullet.
Clear 12. No. 12, no. Not in this game. Elbow to the face, post tackle. Post tackle, elbow to the face.
Well, you're hearing Leon Williamson as well.
Wait.
One of our top referees. Had a little break from the game. Wilson's the man who raises his eye up. Falilua Malio now solidly towards the try line. He's only 5 metres out. Davida for Sampson. Sampson senses an opportunity. Darting close to the line, and it's Doyle who's there to wrap him up before he can get the hand out to score the try. Ledger, isolated, looking to link up, prepared to take the tackle. Tuingamala makes that tackle on him.
Release!
Stays on his feet, well, for the most part, and
Slowing it down, 9. Too
for
slow.
Suanga,
Too slow.
as you can hear from the
Over
referee,
there, over there, over there, over there.
too slow.
Thank you.
So the Falcons, Falilua Malio,
Up now! Hold!
close. A real test here for the Stingrays. They have scored, and that ball's gone down to Itama. One of the few mistakes we've seen from him in the last fortnight.
0.
Very lucky for Counties there. They put themselves under a lot of pressure with a couple of those penalties and the mistake earlier on. So hopefully from here they can try and get themselves back in.
Some information about Spencer Taplin. He's not a Fox Memorial coach, but he's had a long association with the game.
Okay, now.
He and his wife Carmen actually look after the Warriors Ortex house. They're house parents. They've got 6 Warriors players living with them. They've done this sort of work for the past few years. In fact, went across to Australia to the Roosters, and we're looking after some interesting young players just making their mark. They included Latrell Mitchell and Siwa Tokauho.
Tackle 4, scrum.
Also Joey Manu as well. So they're used to looking after young guys.
Tackle 4, scrum.
Spencer and
Akarana
Carmen.
ball.
Let's have another look at this kick downtown from Radic. And out on the full. One of the few faults we've seen from him, and what's a pretty good game that he takes into his footy week in and week out.
Radic and Stowers, they've started this game really well. They've directed play when they've had the ball. Just overcooked it on that occasion, but yeah, they're going to have to dig deep here.
Come on, get in there. Go together. Get out, prop.
Ledger feeding the scrum, just inside the 40 now. Stingrays, end of Mount Smart. Tuingamala, this is the ball. The Stingrays come up with it on the far side.
First time went back.
Let's have another look here. He says that the first ball went back.
Got a really good touchdowns over there. Picked it up at the same time.
Referee commending the touchies. Really is 3 officials who look after the game, even though the man in the middle tends to get most of the credit and attention.
Defending player down, all right, starting to happen a bit. Just let him go, all right? Okay, go together. Seconds on.
6-4 coming up to quarter game time here in a tight tussle, which is what we're going to expect here today in the local derby. Brown. Taumata, the dummy half.
Easy. Up now. Have a look here. Hold.
It's Quasil up to play it, and now Bernard. Nice little offload. Finds Ledger. Stepping on the inside, can't free his arms.
Come on.
15 from the line. Bernard, Connick, building. Luafalealo Tuingamala now on the far side, and he's wrapped up by his opposite number, Corsi. Falilua Malio once again with another of those bulldozing efforts that he is renowned for. 5 metres from the try line. Can Davida turn something on from close range? Here he comes again. It's Bernard. Pushes it out the back for Davida again. That's been knocked down. There was a hand, a Stingray hand, I think.
0.
And it is a full set here for the attacking team. Ledger, dummies, into the middle. The heat of the flame, and Ledger's too good, is he? No, he's not. He's just curtailed at the last moment. Here's Bernard, though. He's over the line, but he can't get the ball down. Held up in goal.
Tackle
They'll back
there.
it
Held
up.
up in goal.
Geronimo Doyle was outstanding in that set. He was the one underneath that play there. Counties are defending really well at this stage.
Wait.
Under some pressure, though, under the pump Call it what you will, the blowtorch is being applied to them. Now another charging run. And the offload finds its hands into a Stingray rather than a Falcon, and Counties Monaco pushed themselves out to the 10-metre line.
Well done to survive that set. They really put themselves under a lot of pressure, but to be able to defend consistently on your line is a full credit to this Counties team.
Radic directing dummy half. Taylor Powder lines himself up. And he's up to play the ball, midway between the 30 and 40. Taylor from the Howard Hornets. He's played Warriors 20s, a big, deep kick. Luafalialo finds himself just on his 20-metre line. Decent enough chase too from the Stingrays.
Great kick and a great chase. Counties are doing such a great job at putting themselves amongst this game.
Hope you're enjoying the action here. This is round 2 of the NZRL Premiership from Mount Smart 2. If you've just joined us, Canterbury with a whopping big victory over Waikato earlier on today. But these two teams, local derby that it is, not surprisingly going hammer and tong at the moment as they try to crack the nut on the left-hand side through Rowley Buchanan. What a season he has had. What a good couple of years he's had as well. Now it's for Waterson. James on the 5th and final tackle. Tavita to acting half. They'll look for the kick. Here is Connick.
15, 10 metres.
Nicely picked up.
Okay.
Intention was good, 72. Plays the ball, midway 20, 30, Doyle. Geronimo Doyle's got a ton of pace. Here's Serafano now. What a good carry too for the 25-year-old. He is a fitness trainer as well. So he's a giant of a man with a big, big heart as well. He reckons he uses a lot of strapping tape. It's him with the ball. They're trying to keep it alive. Cut out ball on the far side, cleverly delivered. Good run too, now on the right edge. Falilua Malio surprises him and comes from a different angle to make the tackle. Tempted to kick, now the chip and regather, but Luafalialo reads him like a book and comes up with the ball, although he took a whack from Radic and is down on his haunches on the 10-metre line.
No, he didn't.
Counties have done such a great job to swing the momentum of this game, and I'm thinking Akarana are really feeling like they're in a game here.
Let's have another look. Now here's the chip over the top. Luafalialo gasses it. It's in there. Well, I don't think there was anything untoward. Serafano, as mentioned, he's a giant. Just an unfortunate collision.
Out here, out here.
Some words here for Chase Bernard. Leon Williamson doesn't like back chat. Let's have a listen to what he says to him.
Don't say anything. Mate, we had a decision down there that he's gobbled at me about before. Now he's keeps going on about. I've warned him not to go against it. He keeps going on. The penalty's going against you. Shut up. We go on the sideline, mate. Be quiet.
Well, he's laying down the law, that's for sure, Webby.
That was a stern talking to. I copped a few of them in my time.
Yeah.
So a bit of an issue here for Luafalialo. If the day's not sad enough already, let's hope that it's not a game-ending injury for a man who's one of our most experienced. What do you think, Dr. Webb? You're used to doing diagnoses from afar?
I'm not too sure. It just seems like he picked up a knock as he went in for that ball. But yeah, hopefully he can regain his feet here and continue on.
Well, I'm pleased about that. Some ex-footballers go on as though they are brain surgeons, and they'll give us a prognosis from wide out. But this time around, our concerns for Simon.
I'm not going to get into discussion about it.
Formerly with the Marist club this year out west, but he's to his feet now. Let's pay some tribute here to the Stingrays' attitude. They were tested just 5 or 6 minutes ago where the momentum was all with the Falcons. They survived that. And it's now plenty of strapping for Simon. Let's have another look how it came to be. So the chip over the top, he showed great bravery coming in, and of course ended up with something of a super Charlie by the looks, if we can use that term, from Serafano. Just a little pause in the momentum here. For a time there, the Stingrays looked like they were really starting to make some inroads here.
Back on your team. Put time on. Penalty. Yep, it is. Time back on.
Here he comes. Big Vista Seal.
Up now, up now, up now.
Really nice character too. Off the field, poor play the ball from him as well. He'll be disappointed, as will the county supporters at home. He's a proud man. Good bloke off the field. A 6-year-old, 1-year-old son as well. Big Mr. Seal. That's twice now that we've seen the Stingrays with poor play the balls. It's a simple aspect of the game, but so often brings good teams undone.
It does, and it's almost a case of trying to play the ball too quickly. And there are times where, you know, you really need to take that extra second or two to make sure you regain possession of that ball.
Here's the brains trust for the Stingrays. Wiki, Taplin. And now the Falcons, the defending premiers, with the football. And of course, as mentioned, the Counties Manukau region was established 8 years ago. Prior to that, the Auckland catchment really had sort of Warkworth to Waiheke. And the formation of the franchise for Counties Manukau just allowed more representative honours.
So 10,
Seal
cut it out, mate. No different than down there.
is in the firing line here.
You got the penalty. No different than your one down there, all right? Keep it out of the head area, boys.
Very vocal referee Williamson. So Ledger, a few dark clouds starting to form. I don't think we'll get showers through the course of the game, but there could be some later on here in the city of Sales. Bradley Buchanan. That's the attitude that can be really inspiring.
He's been outstanding. He was brilliant last week, and he just takes his role to another level on that left edge.
So Tavita decides that down the short sides, got some options for them as Chris Seal, very committed player, the sort of guy that coaches really like having in their squad to play a number of positions, but all of them with a great attitude. A real team man. That's another good solid carry once again from a man who's in terrific touch. So Tavita deals up. Ledger decides to change the point of the attack. Across now for Seal, finds himself in receipt of the ball once again. It's corralled, enveloped by the Stingrays' defence. Connick looking to thread the needle and reading his mind well, and then pouncing on the ball's Kossi. For Doyle to go to dummy half. It's 2 to set the stage in the early exchanges here of the set.
Counties again, they've just been able to absorb a lot of this pressure that Akarana were putting on them, and it's been outstanding from them.
Well, Setu too got up, started applauding the decision, saying that he was leaned on, but Williamson says, mate, get to your feet before you play the ball.
Wait, just wait.
So here we are, 10 metres out from the try line. 6-4 the scoreline. Falilua Malio now.
Up now!
He's content to take it in close. Watch out for Dylan Tavita, KG around the line. Chase Bernard gets hold of the ball, bit flat-footed. Tries to turn something, or nothing into something himself. Pulled down by Luke Armiger in 15, now on. That's Setafano, right close to the line. Danger time here for the Stingrays. And they swarm around in defence. And hold up the player has bullocked his way across the line, but couldn't get it to ground. Chris Seal on the run. Let's have a look at him. Look at this great line defence. Desperate from the Stingrays.
Just their eagerness to defend their own line. It's really impressive to see. And again, Doyle, the man on the spot.
Beautiful play. It's Chaz Brown on the boil. Great D put on to him by Witty Header. Taumata. Now Tuitama. That'll be draining the reserves, the energy out of the Stingrays. But even so, at the moment, holding their own. Again, Seal, he's lost the football. It's been jarred loose, play on. No, And a handover is deemed. Good defence here from the Stingrays.
Great defence from the Stingrays. Akarana, they just can't seem to get their good ball together. They're a bit static and not too sure about what's going on.
Got it. Over there, Willie. Back here, hold here, look. Have a look here. Right away, go.
So Stowers plays it. Conservatism needed here.
1 down, 12.
As the Stingrays just look to build on the good defensive work. 27.5 minutes gone. Just one try apiece, those tries to Tavita early on from close range.
Nah, you're
And two with a wonderful display of wingers' athleticism flying in on the Big D effort as well on Taylor Polder. It's Falcons Malio, and look at some of the defensive work coming in here. This time it's from Bernard. He's really hammering at it. Vicicil, Sedefano. Hard to contain. Now for Stowers, using every bit of his experience with the downtowner. Good effort too to come in and take it. James Taumata. See what defensive work the Stingrays can put on here. Waterson and Taumata, the two wingers, getting involved and doing some fine work to release some pressure off their forwards.
They've been great, the two wingers for Akarana. It just seems at the moment the fullback's gone out to the right wing. Lua Falaleo. And it looks like he might be struggling with that knock he picked up earlier.
Oh, I'm sure he'd be a bit ginger on it. That's the sort of D that everyone's come along. Armiger, the target of Bernard's defensive effort. There's another strong carry and an inspirational run here from the skipper for the Falcons. I tell Alliance Rally Buchanan. Suapoya from the Glenora Bears now is into the mix. And he is a tough hombre. Here's Ledger. Raiding at him was Halalilo. Ledger still has it and sees a squeezed opportunity. Pops the pass back for Alu Buchanan. Big Daniel now. Only 3 metres out from the try line. Great opportunity. Dylan Tavita has it and looks and then dives over. Was that a repeat performance?
I think you did right, Dale. Once again, County's just succumbing to all that pressure that Akarana have been able to build.
Well, again, the one that coaches hate. And Sedefano just couldn't contain young Dylan Tavita. Simple strategy, but you need to do it right. And a little bit of a dummy and then fake and then spin, and he was in again. So 2 close-range tries for that man. He's had a strong game already, Dylan Tavita. He's got some strike power around him. Not needed this time from his dummy half work, and he comes up trumps twice.
It just seems that Akarana are really trying to pick out Sedefano in this Counties team, and on that occasion he got left on the ground, and great vision from the hooker.
But all of that defensive work to no avail when they just took their eye off the KG hookers, and you know that's how they make their bread and butter, those boys playing in the 9 jersey. Sedefano breathing in the big ones. As mentioned, a number of these players, it's been a better part of a month, maybe more, since they have played competitively. And it's been a real challenge for Coach Taplin and also for head trainer Ruben Wiki to work on their fitness and have them primed and ready for this Premiership action. This is Ledger looking to put the icing on the cake. And this time around, that's Julie achieved. 10-6 is the scoreline with just on 8 to play here in the first half. NZRL round 2 of the National Premiership. Let's have another look at Tavita's good work close to the line.
Yeah, he's been looking for opportunities all day as Dylan Tavita, and Counties are going to have to really tighten up that ruck area.
No reason to panic at the moment though, because they've got plenty.
Stay behind him, boys. Stay behind him. Timing!
We're back underway, just under 8 to play in the first half. 2 close range tries, Suapoy. That's a the sort of effort you want from your big prop forward to just sort of lay the platform. Doubling up on the banger. This time it's Bernard.
Hold!
I just like the attitude that he takes into his footy.
Strip the ball out. Strip the ball out there, number 11.
Well, Halalilo is the man in the firing line this time around. Things slow up slightly as Connick, in fact Ledger it will be, grabs hold of the football and lines it up for the southern touchline with that responsibility, Chaz Brown.
On the red line.
Counties seem to be their own worst enemy at the moment. Just these silly late tackle penalties are really hurting them.
Sopoy again, another settler, and strong to the 30-metre line. Seal.
15 clear!
20 metres from the try line. Tavita with options, he'll go to the right side as Bernard straightens, rips straight into the heavy traffic. And a knock-on for Ledger gives some relief to the Stingrays, who'll get the scrum feed on the 20.
A rare mistake there from Chase Bernard. He's really started this game well, and every time he's carried the ball, he's been a handful.
Well, it was certainly worth an offload. Just didn't quite land in the arms of Ledger, where it was destined. Stingrays, scrum feed. Relic peeling away from the back. Cruz Tupou. Ton of experience there for Tupou as well. He's in strip number 13 for the Stingrays.
Easy. Move together!
Cruz Tupou's 24, now played his footy with the Hornets. Actually played in the first Counties Monaco Stingrays 17s team 8 years ago, and they won the championship. Actually, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck was in that same team as well. So Cruz Tupou now 24. Keep an eye out for him as Setu 2 comes in from the right edge. He's lost the ball. So the highs and lows of your first time in representative honours for Setu 2. Scored a wonderful try, and this time just a little mistake.
Yeah, again, they're their own worst enemies, coming at a yardage there. A great opportunity for Counties to to get themselves rolling again, but yeah, mistake from the young fella there.
And my mistake too. It wasn't Setu, it was Corsi. Apologies to the right winger.
Lock in. Ball in.
Doesn't have that blemish on his record today. Having a strong game as Tuitama pops the ball over the top for Brown, and then Brown straightens. Elusive, eventually shut down by Whitty-Header. Quick play, the ball is delivered on up. Tuitama, well, he's just everywhere at the moment, Matty. 25 metres from the try line, 15 in from the northern touch line. Falcons on the raid. Ledger and Seal. Good tackle by Serafano. Short side to a point. Big Vista Seal collides with him as well. 12 metres now from the line. The Falcons looking to go back to back. 4.5 to play here in the first half. Here comes big Matthew Tafutu. He's wrapped up right in front of the post. 8 metres out from the try line. Quick play, the ball delivered up. Ledger for a whole shot for Tuitama. Back for Ledger. Here's the kick across field. And taken skillfully.
Middle.
Looking for the tap.
Middle.
And 2 called back. So any
In the middle of the cross. Look.
any advantage has been quelled, really. And now he'll just settle it down. 2. Good run from him through the middle. Connick stays on his back. Doyle. This is what we need to see from Geronimo. 3.5 to play now. In the first half, an exciting first half of rugby league. 10-6 scoreline. It was going to be close. It's played out that way in the first 38 minutes. Down to the right side they come. Good little run. 2. This is Luke Armiger. He too from the Hornets, a strength and conditioning coach out in Civvy Streets. Is now pushing along to the outside to Halililo. He's lost it. Play on. Radic. Drew. Now, Serafano. Close to the line. Armager and holding up the pass. Here is Doyle. That's good.
He's taking advantage. You've run straight into it, taking him out. Advantage gain from the obstruction. Advantage gain from the obstruction.
I thought it was going to be good, but quite obviously Leon Williamson was close at hand. Let's have a look.
Well, he's had an effect. All right, he's had an effect. Hey, back here. All right, away you go.
Complete the set. Simple formula, Webby.
Definitely. Just unfortunately, the lead runner ran to the outside shoulder of the defender instead of trying to get to his inside, and that resulted in the penalty.
Doing a mala for Ali Buchanan.
One down here, left side.
Runs with purpose and sting, as does this man. Suapui wants a quick play of the ball, goes down on his knees and delivers that for his teammates. Skillfully delivered as well. 2 to play in the first half. Here's Connick, hot stepping but can't quite find his way through. Davita, short side, Suapui.
101.
Out for Waterson. Fleet-footed. But can't find his way through this time, James Waterson, but he's put on some good plays to support his teammates. Doing a mala. It's now Tavita, cut out ball over the top. Strong running.
Don't throw it away. Don't throw it away.
Matthew Tafutu, just a minute and 10 to play in the first half. 2 tries to 1, both of them to Tavita for the Falcons.
Stand up now.
Setu 2 scored in the 12th minute with an athletic dive on the far side of the field. I feel that the Stingrays will be pretty satisfied with what has happened here in the first 40. I think Connick's in some serious issues and damage control with his left knee. And back plays hobbling towards the side right now, the halfback. But the Falcons have got a ball and perhaps an opportunity here in the last minute of the first half as Ledger shows it on the inside. Not ready for it was Duitama, and the Stingrays say thank you very much and come up with the ball.
They've done well, Counties. They'd be very, very happy to go into half time, having held out Akarana with all the ball and all the pressure that they've been able to provide.
Building for a great second half. Brett Webben with us today. Good to have him along too, and of course just reminding you, Canterbury way too strong for Waikato down in the Garden City earlier today. Here is a penalty.
No.
Looking for the quick go. Just one last roll of the dice here in the first 40, as you can hear the hooter in the background. Set a funnel. It was very hard to take front on, and it was an absolute size difference with Dylan Tavita. I think the kick might be being considered here. That's in fact what they're going to do. Surprising decision.
Well, I think with the half-time hooter already gone, I think any opportunity to get some points before this half-time break is essential.
Well, both teams have had a decent run at it today there, Webby. And we expected it to be tight. It usually is between these two mobs. As we see Setafano
Stay behind the kicker chasers.
taking a breather to Radic from the Stingrays. That's this one. It certainly got the distance. Has it got the accuracy? And the answer is in the flags. The answer is yes. Half-time here, round 2 of the NZRL Premiership from Mount Smart 2. It's the Akarana Falcons who lead the Stingrays 10-8. The Steeden and the T. Okay. So it's the Stingrays playing left to right in the second 40. Plenty of guys wanting to get in and have a go. This is Tafutu with the first carry. Ledger goes to dummy half. Little step back on the inside. Calling out all defenders. These two toes in there, the defensive line, as well as Taylor Powder. An improved performance from the Stingrays this week, and why wouldn't it be too? Spencer Taplin enjoying his opportunity as Suapui gets to his feet. Working towards the halfway line through Alu Buchanan. Always seems to pierce the line enough and break them just a little bit extra. can put 5 or 7 metres onto every carry when others would have faltered, but he's got an uncanny ability to bend the defensive line, as we see the Stingrays with a decent start to in the return carry from the far side. Mikaya there, he's had a decent enough debut. So is this young man. Setu 2. Silifano wrapping him up in the defence is Seal. Well, they really just need to start more solidly than they did the first half, conceding a try after 4 minutes. This is Radic. Good run from Halalilo, manages to get the offload, but Ledger is there and walls him. Can't get good hands from Radic, and now launching for a tester at the back for Lua Falealo. Is it? Simon's not there. In fact, it's Taumata. Bit of a knock on Wilson as well. This is a decent carry. Really like the way that Wilson and Taumata have been combining. Nicholas Wilson in a bit of trouble. Tungamala, 5 metres inside enemy territory. Here he is. He's been a pain in the you-know-what for the Stingrays defenders today. Dylan Tavita. Tungamala, dummy half. Connick on the inside. Beautiful run for Taumata, and it's that good. Well, 3 minutes into the second half, and the Falcons are in through Taumata. What an offload and a wonderful finish.
As we heard Captain Francis Ledger at half-time talking about really targeting the middle of the field, and we saw what they were set out to do this half, and seeing it come straight through the middle here from the number 2, James Taumata, sorry. They worked that area over really, really well.
Well, James has been on the edge for the Glenora club this season. And this time he goes in to replace Lua Falealo at the back, and that's the sort of try that fullbacks like to score. Thomas Connick had the foresight to anticipate him, could hear the footsteps in the corridor through the middle. Just popped that ball back up on the inside. And a superb finish. Disappointing really after just going into the huddle and talking about the need to be stoic on defence. There's still a bit of an issue with, I think, Wilson at the moment receiving some treatment. He's got some interesting references on body art. Is that Cupid there? That looks like Stacey Jones as a kid. Look, I'm just picking that one out of the air, I'm sure it's not a... Why would Francis Ledger have a picture of Stacey Jones on his calf? Interestingly, I note that because body art's so common in modern rugby league, but in Japan in the World Cup next year, I see that all the players have been asked to cover them up. And because seemingly it's impolite to have body art showing in Japan, and because of its references to the Yakuza. So that's going to be an issue. We're going to see rash shirts for all of our All Black players there, Webby.
I'd say about 90%, I'd say.
16-8. I did hear someone say, well, what do you think league players have taken across to rugby? And someone piped up, it's tattoos. I don't know if that's quite true. But, with so many Polynesian players now, and all of them very proud to wear their cultural references, it's just the modern world, really. iPhones and tats. It's the era we live in. I love this carry. Look at that solid work as well. Real attitude on the carry. I thought that might have been slightly forward. It's okay though. Chaz Brown's to ground. Confidence will build here. Tui Tama's made a couple of uncharacteristic mistakes too, Matty. Because he's been one of the best in the representative play and indeed through club play in 2018. I guess a lot of the rugby league world at the moment, Webby, are wondering whether or not we'll see Billy Slater in his grand finale next week after what's deemed by many to have been a shoulder charge last night. You got any thoughts on that one?
Oh, I mean, you know, as a fullback, to put your body on the line to stop tries, you know, that's a big part of your job. And just in Billy's defence, I don't think he could have done too much more than what he did. It'd be an absolute travesty if he doesn't get a start next weekend.
We wouldn't be the first. There have been a number of high-profile players who've missed their opportunity in the grand final. I think we're looking at their Price and even Isaac Luke.
Yeah, again, you know, some great players who've just been unfortunate enough to be charged the week out from a grand final, and I can imagine it's got to be pretty heartbreaking.
What a wonderful run from Big Visacilo Setafano. He gets the Stingrays set. On in 15 is Armiger. He's delivering nicely. Radic on the far side for Halalilo. Can't get through. Ledge has been good. He's captaining the side today too for Keith Hanley. And, he really makes his presence felt. He's all over the park. A tester out the back and then picked up by the Stingrays, who look to have scored the Stingrays. Up gets the big number 6, Willie Stowers, and it's okay as well from the tattooed referee who sends it home.
What a great set there from Counties. They've really taken advantage of the little possession they've had in the start of this first half. A great cross kick, and again, your kick's only as good as your chase. And the winger on that occasion, Setu, with the chase through there, and then able to provide the try.
Well, here's the climb. That was well contested. The bounce favourable here for the skipper and standoff. Sorry, it was Malutoa who scored the try. My apologies. They go into their huddle as well. That's a good response. And really, it was set up by Setafano, wasn't it? With that, you know, really spirited run. He carried 3 or 4 defenders with him, took an extra 10 or 12 metres, and then just had the momentum as Radic looks to add the extras.
Setafano's been great in this game. He's played some big minutes, and for a big man, he's been very effective.
Hey, Willie, that's good like that, mate. Just to get him playing football like that. Good work.
And like hearing the referee giving some commendation to the captains as well. We hear them having a go at skippers and players a lot, but equally prepared to say good work as well. 16-14, we're going to really have a nail-biting conclusion here. You get the feeling this exciting local derby in the Premiership.
Stay behind them, boys. Same out here.
Coming up to 9 minutes into the second half here at Mount Smart 2. And it's the Stingrays. Here he is again. Setafano into space, and doesn't it look great to see a genuinely big man in full flight?
Oh, I wish he could have found Geronimo Doyle, who was flying on his inside. What a great run from the big man.
Here's the Stingrays on the far side. Taldo, quick play the ball and then out for Stowers. Thought about popping that pass, did Malutoa. Willie. Thought it was forward, there was a call, you heard it quickly.
I can't call it, boys, it's got to come from the line. I can't call it back in the line, all right? Wait for it. Thanks, Nate, good call.
Stowers, a ton of experience. Willie. Played for New Zealand Māori, Tongan residents. Cousin of Ruben Wiki.
Sorry, mate, I couldn't get your number.
He's a cousin to
as quick as I can get to you.
many and a friend to all.
What was your name? Rory, okay, I'll just remember next time. Lock in there, boys. Locks in. Locks in. Half over here, thanks. Okay, go together, boys. Get down there, props.
It's just really unfortunate there. Stowers picked out that lead runner when if he'd gone out the back, I think there would have been a lot more space and an opportunity.
Stand up. Go. Up now, 11! Hold. Go. 2.
So Akarana have the ball.
Both ways.
Rory Ropati is into the mix now. Rory doesn't look anything like Pete.
Secure the ball, loose carry.
That's in the Blondie. Peter Varentia. He carries that interesting surname as well, Rory Ropati.
Over here, boys. Here, look.
Just 2 points in it at the moment too, and 11 gone in the second half.
Drew, get in there, Seal. Hold on. Wait. Hey. Blocks, keep right in. That's it. Block, right in. Block, right in.
Underway
Right in. That's
again
it.
here. Stowers to feed the scrum. Just inside the Akarana Falcons half. Ropati comes at
Move now! Quickly,
Sirfano.
Good. Hold.
Takes 3 or 4 to put him away.
That's one.
Amaja doing the work as acting half at the moment, giving Fusawanga a bit of a break. Just had word from the floor manager, Jeff Ackland, that Rory is actually Tani and John Ropati's son. I know many of you will be familiar with the family from Panama Road days. And great to see that whakapapa lines working. So now the Stingrays are in good position. It's the 5th and final tackle though now, and Radic will go sideways and climbing for that and finishing off brilliantly is the young man who started his representative career with some style this afternoon. Setu 2 is up high and claims the try.
What a great kick here from Radic. His kicking game today has been outstanding, and this cross kick they keep persisting with and going to Setu, and they keep getting rewards.
Well, the young bloke showed great skill to get up high and take the high ball and get it down. His teammates rightly congratulating him too. Springing the step now, confidence coming high. They'll be disappointed with their showing against the Bulls last week, the Stingrays, and really need to win this one this afternoon. What all teams are looking at is avoiding relegation. Well, you'd have to think that Waikato in trouble of that, in danger of that now, with a couple of substandard performances. Easy pickings last week for the Prems, and then a whopping great scoreline down in Christchurch. But now Drew Radic looking to add the extras. It was a pinpoint accurate crossfield bomb.
It was spot on, and every kick that he's put in, especially those cross kicks today, have all been pinpoint.
There it is, the proud NZRL logo on the steed, and don't forget, October 13th, Sky will be bringing you all the action for the Trans-Tasman Test match. It's going to be a real beauty day. And up go the flags. Paying acknowledgement again to Rochelle Tamaro, Nathan Barker-Pringle, who are looking after things on the sideline. That is Spencer Taplin, the coach here of the Stingrays, as we get another look. Radic, many strings to his bow. And Setu 2, setting the Rugby League world alight on debut. 4 points in it, 20-16. It's a good show here from the Stingrays. And it's always a thrilling encounter when these two teams go head to head. The restart is deep. What a try does is people line up to get hold of the ball. Just there's a shot of adrenaline into the collective arms.
That it does. Just the excitement and the enthusiasm from this young counties team is really what has kept them in this game.
Well, Falilua Malio is deemed to have had his hands in the ruck. And
Post-tackle effort.
let's have another look. So the effort's finished there. Not much in it, really, but the Stingrays will be pleased to get the penalty. 55 minutes into the game, 4 points in it. Radic first, now Powder. Powder's contributing strongly here this afternoon.
Again, 22!
Bruce Tupou just inside the Falcons half. They're combining well, aren't they? The 6 and 7. Here's Doyle really looking forward to San Geronimo get some opportunity. Ropati, Brown combined to make the tackle. Stowers, Jamal Hunt Well, he won down first time, pops the ball back, it's still alive. Play on, no. Well,
backwards and then knocked
snapping
on
onto
by
it was
Counties, blue
Tupou.
ball. Backwards and knocked on by Counties, blue ball.
Well, one thing about Leon Williamson, he makes his calls, he makes them loud, and he makes them right on the
Went
spot.
back and then knocked off on Counties. That's how I've seen it.
Not the sort of bloke you'd want to argue the toss with, Webby.
That's how I've seen it.
No, I don't think I'd have too many arguments with that bloke.
Or that one on the left.
Definitely not.
Don't lay around there too much. Second done.
Spencer enjoying his opportunity coaching.
Out!
Of course, he has coached before. He's coached the Stingrays and Warrior support coach as well.
Get in now! Oh!
He actually coached the Sea Eagles under 20s 5 years ago. This is Spencer Tappert. And that team had a 19-year-old James Bell and an 18-year-old Jazz Tavanga as his co-captains. Drew Radic, George Edwards also in that squad.
Told you release too slow, stand out the tip of the
He's
ground.
crossed paths with a lot of our top names. Spencer, his wife Carmen as well. Two of the real identities and characters of the local rugby league scene here in Alton. This Keith Hanley. Mount Albert this year. Talk of Tatatu next. Ropati
Move now,
wants to just add his little bit to the layer of pressure they're about to apply here to Counties Manukau. Bernard, and well contained today, in fact loses the ball this time around, and it's Paldo who snaps on it.
No advantage. Two in the tackle, stripped out, no advantage game. We'll always look for advantage, boys.
Right in front. 2016
What are you doing? What are you doing?
decisions. Williamson wants the decision made quickly. Obviously they're not going to go for the 2, why would they?
Right away, go.
Instead they'll fancy their chances at the 4. Prop forward winds up for the settling run first up. Falilua Mario. Seo to acting half. Connick, first receiver. Flicks it back on the inside. Ball's gone to ground. Has it gone backwards? No, it's gone forward, and Connick gets up frustrated.
Lost in the collision there. Knock on. Counties ball.
Well, the idea was right. We've seen the run through the middle. Taumata was successful last time, maybe just a bridge too far, looking for Aliu Buchanan.
I think Connick there just overplaying his hand a little, but the inside pressure from the Counties Manukau team was spot on there.
Play football. All right. Seconds in.
Well, that's just the release of the pressure valve that Counties Manukau
Out!
would have been searching for. Just a little bit less pressure on them right now, but not much.
Okay,
The lead too close to relax
square.
at all. So the Stingrays now, 15 from their own line. There they come, thick and fast, the Falcons swarming on the 20-metre line.
Two.
Some of the big men lining up to, again, charge forward and take some pressure off the inside backs. Mafuasa,
Four now. Stand
Malupo
up. Rock a square. 22.
up
You're
to
not
his
there.
feet. Tupou in acting half.
Easy. For last.
Get into the back end of the set. 3-quarter game time. The kick will be forthcoming. It's Radic on the run too. Splits them at the back. The bounce is awkward and then it's knocked on. Trouble at the back for Waterson, who has had a blemish-free game so far, but this time puts one down.
Another great kick from Radic. But this 6, 7, 9 and 1 for this Counties Manukau team have really flowed freely with they seem to want to move the ball around out of yardage, and they're doing a really good job at it.
Well, that was an awkward bounce for James. We're into the final quarter now, round 2 of the Premiership. Big chance here for the Stingrays. Just a little bit more pressure on the Falcons and on the scoreline. This is Tupou. The play for Armiger. Options for Luke. He has a bit of a look to the right, was never going that way. Instead goes to the left, finds Stowers. Coming on to him is Radish. Geronimo Doyle into the mix. Now back into infield, spinning towards the line. What a run from Rahi to Whitty header. What a finish from the number 3, outstanding.
Once again, the 6, 7, 9 and 1 combining to open up some space on that left edge. And Whitty Hira, just big and strong, running hard back through that middle, created this try.
It's good play for the 20-year-old too. He too is a builder, and he's building on a reputation right now. He's played plenty of rep play, Stingrays 15s, Auckland Māori 15s and 17s, Kiwi 18s and the Warriors 20s wider squad. So he's certainly an emerging talent. Rahiri Whitty hit up, and he hails from the Otahuhu Leopards as well. Fine try for him. Plenty of work to do when he received the pill from Geronimo Doyle, but he angles back nicely and eventually cracks the defensive line to score, and Radic looks to put the cherry on top. So he is now about 15 metres to the left-hand side of the posts. What a good run we've seen here from the Stingrays in the last 10 minutes or so. The extras duly added, 26-16. It's a 10-point split, and the Stingrays, well, if they didn't believe they could do it early on, they certainly will now.
It's been a great look from this very young Counties Manukau team. You know, with the inexperience, you're going to get a few errors and a few silly penalties. But along with that, you're going to get a lot of enthusiasm and guys willing to really take charge of the ball.
There he is, your try scorer. You'll be pleased to go across the line here. It's televised national competition. Of course, a compressed format, but seemingly to the liking of players who finished their club responsibilities and now get a chance to mix it with the best of New Zealand residential players. The Stingrays just have to play now with the top 2 inches for a short while. Fine field position, and Ropati was deemed offside.
What's the arm, Corey? Watch the arm, all right, very close. Working the arm, just watch that. Just got to be aware you can't push that arm off past it.
Well, he communicates more with the players than NASA does to the International Space Station, Leon Williamson.
One now, move together! Hold, hold.
Just building something here again, Webby, by the looks of things, the Stingrays. Got a real spring in their step, haven't they, mate?
They do, and Armiger, since he's come on the field, the 15 and hooker, he's made a real difference.
Here is Stowers weaving some magic through the middle. Took a bit of a shot for his troubles. He won't be concerned about that as Armiger gets up. Bullet passes it left. Nice one for Radic. In comes Doyle over the top and out wide. The dive for the line is superb from Mackay there. Well, it was a superb dive, but it doesn't come up with the spoils.
This was a great play from Counties. Again, the 6, 7 and 1 combining front door and back door. And a great pass from my vantage point here from the fullback Doyle. But unfortunately, the officials call it forward.
Well, finish, a stylish finish too. But the call came across from the touch judge, Nathan Barker-Pringle. Said, pull him back. One drifted forward. And in defence of the referees, they're much better positioned. And although we have a number of cameras looking at the game from different angles, sometimes it can be misleading from the commentary position. Just backing up for a moment, it's 5 tries to 3. Sorry, 4 tries to 3, plus that Radic penalty. I wonder if that might have some play in the final result. That was right on the hooter of half-time. So Falilua Malio continues to work hard. Bernard has been kept in good check today by the Stingrays.
He has, after an outstanding performance last week. He's been by no means ineffective today, but Counties have seemed to been able to manage him.
So the kick to the southern touchline. gets the Falcons, the defending premiers, made up of all the Central Auckland clubs, your Mount Albertson, Point Chevs, as well, so it's a decent catchment. But this is the sort of running that's been missing, but not now. It's Comer Sampson who just surges onto a ball on his own, charges towards the try line and makes no mistake.
Just really lazy through the middle here on this occasion was Counties Manukau. They were all retreating, and on poor old Doyle at the back, left to his own devices against the big number 13, Sampson.
This will duly be converted as well. Comer Sampson, we've already sung his praises before, emerged out of the Warriors under-20s. He's a good footballer. And had a little bit of a stint offshore. He's back playing in the domestic competitions. And really, he, at times, is a cut above the rest, Comer Sampson. That time around, well, he looked like he was, you know, king of the hill, didn't he?
Did he have a beard last week?
Yeah, these young blokes, they can grow them in a day and a half. Cody Walker there, Keith Hanley's assistant, helping him out today. Wonderful local contributor, Cody. Picked up a few Fox Memorial Championships. It's one of the more straightforward ones for Francis. So the Falcons building back towards the victory that they might have expected here this afternoon. It's 3 good tries in the second half for the Stingrays. Got them into good position on the scoreboard. 26-22. An exciting conclusion to the game coming up, Webby.
It definitely is. Counties Manukau have to really try and turn the screws here with Akarana with a head full of steam.
Well, they need to get down into the corners, don't they, and defend strongly. Otherwise, they run the risk of guys like Sampson just finding a hole and capitalising on it. It's exactly what he did. He looked impressive with the run. Falilua Malio here trailing behind him. Barrels his way forward for the set-up run. Number 2. They talk about springing the steps and momentum changes all the time, don't they? And that try will have just really given a boost here for the Falcons. Here he is again. Some sonic runs. Still darting effort for 10. Ledger and Ropati. Rory, the ground just outside the 30-metre line, so the Falcons utilising this set pretty well. Here's Ledger. A kick, it's been touched by a Stingrays player. It's Mikhaili on the far side of the field, who's to ground with the football. How disappointed will he be not to have registered that try 5 or 6 minutes ago as Geronimo Doyle spins, trying to get out of the defence on the far side of the field. Right on the 10-metre line, the Falcons up for it on defence this set.
Yeah, on the end of that set with Ledger just showing his experience there, just running that ball down into the corner and making Counties really work hard to get out.
Well, they're up by 4, so they've got a chance to protect it as Purcell comes back into the mix. Let's see what the Stingrays have in store for us. Connor Kelly, nice little offload on the inside. Willie Stowers away from one with a dummy. Here is Stowers. The runner on the inside is Radic. The chase is on. Radic is into trouble. And a great chase. Tomata gets Radic. Out of dummy half goes Stowers. It's still on for the Stingrays. Wide, wide, and wider still. The dive for the line is there. And Halalilo is in to score for the Stingrays. What a try from the boys in red and white.
Just the enthusiasm here from Counties Manukau with a little bit of an offload down this right edge, and Stowers taking advantage of Connick and knowing he had him for pace.
Well, that was a try and a half. This is the back end of it, and Stowers, great lead-up work. In the end, Halalilo with it, spinning towards the line, and he is unable to be held back. Great run from him. It's Nick Halalilo from the Maile East Hawks, their winner of this year's Player of the Year and Rising Star Award for the Hawks. He's a demolition man, and what a great run for the 22-year-old. 30-22 with a kick to come and 9 to play. Well, the Stingrays taking the deep breaths, just resetting themselves. And now Drew Radic, he was involved there. I thought that Drew was going to run it to the under the post. He was tagged though and caught by James Taumata. I thought that the play had broken down then, but they were able to get away quickly and go to the left-hand side. Radic is away with that shot. 30-22, 8.5 to play.
Just the work from County's Manukau to come out from deep in the left corner of the field and then to be able to go 100 metres. And looking at this replay, just the offload here, back into Stowers, and he took on Connick. Show and go. Purcell through the middle. We thought he'd have the pace here to make it, but a great chase down. But then to see the space on that left edge and for Halaleo to go in. Great finish.
Yeah, great try for the Stingrays. Good stuff. Webby reminded me of some of the runs I used to see you doing in the NRL. As here comes Purcell.
Woo, 17!
Powerful run.
No, you go back. Hey! Cut that out. Cut that out. 22! That's one.
Wilson sounds like he wants to put him on detention.
Stand up now!
Well, the heat's on now. These two teams have come head-to-head many, many times over the years here in the Premiership. There's a great deal of respect for the skill sets and opposing teams. This is rugby league and emotions run high. So now the Stingrays have the ball 8 metres short of the halfway line. Stowers has played a good hand. Here he is again, Setafano. Bang, he goes, and pushing Coma Sampson backwards. Oh, he's powering forward like a Mack truck. He's down now 40 metres out from the try line. Setafano slow to his feet, understandably as well. Would have dragged some of the juice out of him, that little run. On to Stowers. Says, let's kick early in the count. And this one finds its way across the line on the northern touch line. Michelle Tumbledore, flag up in the air, 15 metres out. Scrum feed for the Falcons.
Counters will be very happy with the end of that set. After a try, your goal has got to be to get down the other end of the field and put in a decent kick. And that's exactly what they did, playing with really cool heads.
Well, the clock is counting down, isn't it? You can see that at home.
Yeah, they're here.
Just over 6 to play. They've got to score twice as well, the Falcons. So work to be done, and up quickly. Radic has had an outstanding game today, Drew. He and Stowers have combined brilliantly after the disappointments of last week.
Yeah, I can see it.
6 to play. To his feet, Chaz Brown. Halilua Malio. Seal dummy half. Connick. Bradley Buchanan manages to pop the pass. They'll have to keep the ball alive and give it some air. Here's Taumata.
Clear now!
All day.
This is really the cat amongst the pigeons. Hasn't it? That's been touched and tapped back. Play on. Mikhail there.
Move now!
These two young guys, 3 young guys that they've introduced to us, the Stingrays this week, have put their hands up. And impressed with Setu 2, but Fusuanga, who was playing as the rake early on for the Stingrays. And of course, Mikhail good debut performances, as I thought for a moment that Connick was going to snap it up and run to the line.
Number 7, scrum here, red ball.
Red ball for the scrum, 15 from halfway. Lots to like about the showing here of the Stingrays. They were disappointed with last week's effort, but they've certainly built on it this week. And to come up against the Prems and play so strong, we're expecting that they'll be able to hold on here. But strange things happen in rugby league. It's definitely been an improved showing by the squad coached by Spencer Taplin.
Yeah, Spencer has to be very excited about what he's seen today, and just the reaction he's got after last week's game, and then being able to build, you know, up to being a real hot shot at beating this Akarana team.
Well, what we know is that it certainly isn't a foregone conclusion. And another penalty, just a bit more breathing space for the boys in the south side.
13, too slow.
Williamson's had a good game with the whistle today. Keeps all the players informed of his attitude and what he expects from them. There's Taplin looking on. Hasn't got the wind grin on yet. Been around footy for far too long. Well, let that one go early on as Purcell sets the set. But Fusuanga is back into the mix. Nice little run here from Tupou. Squeezed in the tackle on the 20. And Tupou loses control.
Lost the ball.
And so the scrum now for the Falcons. The last roll of the dice, really, but
Pardon?
3 minutes to play. You just wonder if they'll be able to get the 2 try-scoring opportunities they need to come away with the 2 points.
Come on, come on, come on. Yeah, come on, get in there. Go down together. 10, get right in.
Standout players for you.
Ball in. Out.
Well, for me, the 6, 7, 1 and 15 and the other hooker who started for Counties have all done a fantastic job in managing this game. And their forwards, the big boy, number 10, Setafano, has been outstanding. Armiger, the other hooker who came off the bench. But yeah, the halves for me have really run this game for the Counties.
And he was the danger man last week, Chase Bernard, but they've really kept him in check. Falilua Malio, I've been very impressed with his work rate and attitude here today. It just might not be enough to get them across the line. Raulu Buchanan looking to split them again. Count it down towards full time. Reminder Canterbury, big winners over Waikato earlier today. This is the midfield bomb. Who will climb for it? Counties have lost it. It's gone okay. John O'Doyle has the ball. And so a chance for them to play down the set.
That was backwards.
4 tries in the second half here to the Stingrays. They went into the break down 10-8. Superb second half effort. Taumata with a try early in the second 40 to make it 16-8. So they've built on that. 3 tries through Stowers, 2, and Witty head up, got them to 26-16, and then Sampson with a wonderful run back up on the inside. At that stage, it was just 4 points in it, and then Halalilo with probably the try of the afternoon, and the conversion pushes it out to 30-22. Here's Setafalo once again. He's barreling towards the 20-metre line. Just a minute out from full time here, and the Stingrays. The Stingrays are looking good as a crossfield kick here. Setu 2 as he had it again. It's been a wonderful debut for the 19-year-old. He scored 2 tries, one of the 12th minute and one in the 52nd minute as well, as we see him climbing once again. Eddie Cossey's had a strong game too, the centre. And he was a young man that we can look towards a bright future in club and representative footy here in Auckland. As the Stingrays come up with it once again. And this man has also had a strong game today. It's Witty header. Scored a beauty try as Connor Purcell looks to put the pain into the scoreline as well for the Falcons. And Purcell is in under the posts to score, with just seconds remaining until the full-time hooter. Connor Purcell putting the icing on the cake as well here for the Stingrays. Here's another run. He's a very strong man, Purcell. Bounces away from the first line of defence. Carves another piece into his reputation. They go into a small huddle, and it's been a solid performance here today by the Counties Manukau Stingrays. Hope you've been enjoying the action too. The Falcons into damage control. No doubt go back and have a look at the tape. But today, the victors here in what's been a solid performance here in round 2 of the NZRL Premiership. It's the Stingrays who beat the Falcons 36-22.